Hello, and good morning. Alright, gonna give this just a sec for some folks to show up. Might take a bit of a second here. Alright, and back. So, hopefully everything's all correct now audio-wise. So, time to move on. So next is the Sistina fight, so let's go ahead and give that a little bit of a go. As before, let's go ahead and see who's getting left behind. Roll the wheel. It looks like it's going to be number 9. Unfortunately, no Voltaire for this one. Hey, can we bring everybody else? Yeah, we should be able to bring everybody else. Oh, what was going on last time? Let's see. Fairy was good. Potato was good. Sarah got a level. Ever end up getting an element, even? Nope, she can't even afford an element yet, so, she's just kind of there. I don't remember what the hell her... I think she was Cudgels. Whatever, let's give her a knife in the meantime. Just, there you go, have this knife. Just, you know, so she can do something. And, yeah. Let's get this thing going. As far as Canopus goes, what was his deal again? Is it Berserker? Okay, do this. Canopus is gonna be over here. This little bug thing is going to be over here, and they're going to run up and try to heal Sistina. Because, as we found out last time, basically unique classes are the only possible way to... Well, unique characters are the only way to get unique classes in this run. Alright. I know, that sounds very, self-explanatory. Now, she should do a far better job of taking care of herself, because again, this is one vision. And yeah, apparently this guy's main decision was, hey, let's feed her to a dragon. We're gonna go ahead and go for this one, though, because if I select this one, then the fight just ends if she gets eaten. And sometimes they get like 3 crits in a row, and there's nothing you can do, even on OV, but it's pretty unlikely. Actually, you know what? It's raining. Yeah, no, you know what? She's getting saved. Do it. The run might end right here, but we're gonna try to save her. Now, the reason I'm saying that for the rain is because they should be getting some pretty severe penalties here. Actually, I can potentially even get Lennar moving up. Yeah, there we go. And if you have nothing else going on, you can always shield bash your more useful units to the front. As it goes. As it goes. So, if anybody shows up that happens to have that whole, you know, keyboard type situation, let me know if the audio is fine. As per usual, I have the audio turned way the crap down to the point that I can barely hear it, so assume that's correct. Even though last time that was apparently still blowing out people's eardrums. I have a feeling that guy may have just fell asleep on his volume up button, but who knows. Ooh, friggin' knows. What the hell are you guys again? Starting on Hoplite, I guess. Yeah, there you go. Just run up and pick a fight with Canopus, that's gonna go well. So, Canopus, obviously, you know, he got pretty severely nerfed in OV. Actually, he got double nerfed. So he... previously, his stats used to be just through the frickin' roof, so that ended up getting reduced down to something way more human. And then on top of that, because he's a Birdman, he gets a secondary debuff on it, so mostly he's just a slightly upgraded, slightly downgraded person that can fly. That being said, he's still pretty fast, so, you know, there's that. Just because, obviously, the guy's been through a crap load of stuff, so it makes pretty reasonable sense for him to be that way. Here, I just wanted to see which one was the spear, which one was not. And as bizarre as it is, I've actually been running into the same problem with the base game Iron Man run. Like, there isn't even anything, like, truly special about that run, it's just the fact that, I ran into the exact same thing of having two lizards that are the same class. Well, I guess in this case they're a different class, but in that one they're the same class. And, yeah, I can never tell which one has the spear and which one has the hammer, and I don't know why I did it that way, because I ended up going through the friggin' menu over and over, like, just trying to figure out who's who. Oh, wait a sec. The fairies move faster all of a sudden. Not sure. Anyway. Malediction. Yeah, even if you don't have a crossbow, Necromancer's Malediction is amazing. And in case you missed it before, the only way for me to get Meditate on Denim, even though he's a caster now, which, by the way, Meditate got pretty severely nerfed, kind of one of those sensible nerfs, because there was really no reason to never not use Meditate, so now there's actually just a cost associated with using it. But yeah, if I ever want him to use it, I have to essentially get a wizard or enchantress, and they gotta eat it. And then they get transferred over. Kind of the main shtick there. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be perfectly fine. I don't think Sistina's even been hit, right? Yeah, she's barely been scratched up to this point. Mostly just need this guy going. Get out of here, lizard. I don't have time for all your reptilian nonsense. I'll go away at some point. I probably should have tested right there, if by any chance buffs count as readied skills. I doubt it. I think it's just anything with a star to it. Actually, wait, he doesn't have a buff. What am I talking about? Being an idiot, that's what I'm doing. Okay, with a pokey stick. Beat it up just a slight time. Yeah, there we go. She's even helping out. She isn't even a burden whatsoever. What a good character. Like, instead of her usual thing of, here, I'm gonna take my no defense and go bum rush everybody, and just, that's it. Just tries to friggin' kamikaze a dragon and gets eaten. Actually, it's even funnier when you think about the context of just a second ago, she ran away from said dragon that was trying to eat her, and her first thought is, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take a poke at this random person that's right by me, and then, you know, I'm gonna go show that dragon who's boss. I'm just gonna go stand right next to it. Yeah. Not stopping me from doing that. Her logic was previously a little bit lacking. It was mostly just a thing that the fencer over here would have been the weakest enemy for her to attack, so that was her first instinct. Now, because I kind of want to just spread chaos around here, I'm going to have Canopus run up and punch all these guys. Hopefully get some poison going, as he is. He's going to go punch her dragon in the rectum. It's their biggest weak point, if you never knew. Now, what's your... That's acceptable. Curse? No. No wither. I keep wanting to call it curse, but it's not actually curse. Also got a one thing right off the bat. Oh. Almost never happens. So, oh, by the way, an interesting thing that he was planning on adding in the future, if you... so in this fight, Sistina doesn't know who you are, but for example, in later ones where she's usually controlled by the AI, he was actually planning to make her controllable, since by that point they know who you are, they probably would be reasonably following your orders. So, you know, like in that kind of situation, I guess it's kind of assumed in base game, like they're technically Liberation Front at that point, they're following their own little squad, but, you know, if they're part of a unit at that point, they really might as well follow what the other guys are doing. A more practical thing for them to do. You know, actually, I forget. Intimidate got its leveling removed, right? Yeah, okay. So there's no need to try and level it up. Another very nice thing, in case you were ever wondering how the hell you're supposed to get, like, check and intimidate and whatever else up in base game, it was always a thing where you would just go and take your 0% chances to hit, and then, like, even if you ended up doing a bunch of stuff that didn't even have those particular things active, it still counted as being used, so you would just go and intimidate people that were completely not paying attention to you. So, you know, that made sense. I think I've been told on more than one occasion of, like, why do I sound like I'm so down on the base game? Despite the fact that I freaking love the thing. It's just very easy to make fun of is the answer there. There were so many strange things. So many strange decisions. Oh, you know what? Actually, random note. So yesterday I was talking with a cousin of mine, and yeah, the topic of SRPGs came up and all that, and we were discussing E3, and we were discussing that they were making another Fire Emblem, and I was, you know, the topic of Awakening came up because that was the only one that he'd tried, and it completely soured him on the entire series. Like, well, what's the deal with this thing? There wasn't really any strategy to it. It was like a weird dating sim or something, and yeah, that was I kind of wonder how many people had that impression after Awakening happened. It awakened people's ire for the series, I guess. But no, so okay, so obviously that topic came up, and I noticed, you know what? There actually was one particular challenge run. By the way, Mr. Norman here is still being a friggin' amazing stick wizard. Better off actually fighting than he is actually casting. Go figure. But there was actually one challenge run that I forgot to mention last time that did actually work out and legitimately work as a challenge, which was to use completely unupgraded classes throughout the entire thing. That was the only way to actually make it a reasonable challenge to any description. Just, you can never promote anyone, and if you have somebody that's already promoted, you have to, you basically can't use them until they're unpromoted. Which sounds like an incredibly stupid way to do stuff, but it's the only way to get a challenge out of that thing. And, I don't know, it cracked me up a while ago, because there was somebody defending it, like, oh, it's so perfectly balanced, it gives you challenge and all this risk-reward, and like, there's no risk at all. You marry a couple units, and you never have to worry about a single challenge ever again. It's funny because you pretty much have to go out of your way to avoid that mechanic. Oh well. Oh well. Hopefully, I mean, the new one actually looks like they're considering some new stuff, so maybe it'll be good. Who knows? That'd be quite dandy if it does. If it was. I was already kind of tossing up the idea of finding some way to afford a Switch in the future after the whole Daemon X Machina thing. Because it actually looks like they're making an Armored Core kind of thing. Maybe, kind of, sorta. It's possible. It's legitimately realistic. It actually almost rings of the developers of AC kind of getting pissed off and just kind of going off and doing their own thing. They're like, fine, we'll just go somewhere else. We've been trying to make a sequel for years, and you just won't let us do it. Keep making more Souls games. Like, how the hell many do we really need? Aw, that's still our bag. Okay, you know what? This is actually another thing to bring up. That's always kind of funny as far as the AI in this one's concerned. So obviously, Mr. Rakes was going to be fixing this issue down the line. He was mentioning it several times, that he was going to go and try to make the bags something you can step on and stuff like that. But it occurred to me, like, obviously I've mentioned FFTA a few times as far as, you know, as far as a time when, or I should say FFTA 2, specifically, as far as a time when they actually went and did it very right, where they, should have had her cast there, actually. Where they basically said, okay, you know, you fight an enemy, they drop a thing, you just get a little window that gives you the thing, and that's it. But even before that, I was realizing in a Vagrant Story, they did the same thing, where you never had the opportunity to miss something, you had the window right there. The original FFT there also had a similar thing where they would specifically go out of their way to pick up the crystal things and whatever else, but the AI specifically knew. Well, they would still do it sometimes, but by and large, they wouldn't go after your crates. So, I don't know. Never understand why they did it that way. It's just, there were so many little evolutionary things that they didn't carry over for some reason. Oh well. Oh friggin' well. Hopefully in the future they'll figure it out, you know? Actually, there's one feature that's been a staple in Fire Emblem. That's been a it's only showed up once in any games like this though, which was just the fact that you have your leader out on the field, they're required to be there, and then for the rest of your party, like, why can't you, say, pick the units that you want once you can actually see the map? I mean, it comes up a lot actually, as far as why the hell can't you do that? And it's like, oh well, it's more like the original, but you don't know who you're supposed to send if you don't know what you're actually dealing with. Like, they occasionally give you hints, but those hints are vague at best. Like, they usually don't describe the situation very well. Probably a pretty good example is one of the major roadblocks, if you played the original, which is the volcano. If you're on, specifically, if you're on Law or Chaos, there's one volcano fight that you end up fighting. And yeah. Like, okay, you know, it's gonna be covered in all kinds of dragons and crap. And it's like, okay, you know, just got dragoons a couple fights ago, so we're gonna have to actually go make some of those, since we apparently can't avoid using that class. But they don't mention the zombies and ghosts and crap that show up there, so you probably don't remember to bring one of those along. And on more than one occasion I had to run fall apart because I completely forgot about those. Like, even after years of running it over and over and over, it was the same thing, I just didn't notice. I completely forgot about those particular units being there. And it was kind of annoying, I have to say. Like, okay, hope you brought your exorcism books. Like, no. It's a volcano with dragons and crap. Why would I think there's zombies here, you know? It's an odd one. Alright, anyway. This guy... He's gonna be a little bit busy beating on Sustina over there. Kind of a mean sort. So far, so good. I haven't lost anyone. Let's see, the next... We'll see. Potentially the next unit we're gonna end up getting... Well, that's gonna vary on the route, actually. It's hard to say for sure. We'll see who ends up coming up. But yeah, I was thinking one particular rule that I really wanted to shove in here is that if anyone gets recruited, they're gonna be randomized as well. And thinking it'll probably end up being necessary to recruit more people, and it'll end up just becoming this weird thing where units end up getting lost and replaced all the time, just all this random crap going on. That's the hope. That's the ideal. Let's see if it works out that way. The book sniper is not exactly holding up well in the rain, because all our pages are getting wet. They can't aim properly. They're just like aiming down the spine or something. We'll even need to heal her that much, because she's somehow still not really taking a scratch up to this point. Whatever. What else can we do for you? Slow, worth a try. Come to think of it, I wonder how a poison actually works in this one. It may seem like a strange thing to bring up, you know, after such a long time, but I legitimately don't know whether it actually counts off of our T-ticks or if it has its own ticks that are going on. Probably something that would be worth knowing. Box. That went well. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot left to this fight, to be completely honest. It's just this guy getting beat on a bunch. I'm dumb. You know what I should have done? I think I have Clear Skies on him. Or was it Stormcall? No, I think I have Stormcall. Right. It is the one with the rain, because I was thinking it would be really good not to be scared of archers because of how many squishies are in the party. Break out on you, right? Yeah, Stormcall. Fair enough. Alright. Yeah, we don't have that many ranged units, actually, but it would be very unfortunate if we were to, say, run into a situation where there were a bunch of archers around and we had no way of dealing with them. And that's why he's able to call down storms. Cross marks, all well and good. Everyone's kind of averaging up around 5 right now. So she's gonna do her bowing thing. Oh, she does. And I love this guy's whole logic here. Like, oh, we're doing our own rebellion. But no, their rebellion's the worst one. Only our guys can possibly do propaganda. Theirs clearly telling the truth. Oh, wait, derp. Well, I was supposed to randomize that. Yep. Would have been a 2? Yes. Just, but it would have been a 2 anyway. So, fine. There we go. I was about to go reload that entire thing. Yeah, one day you'll open your eyes. Well, sure thing. Now then. Go to Phydock, have a little bit of a chat here. Like, oh, you don't gotta take this castle today. Well, that's good to know. Now, what's this decision gonna be? We're gonna be dicks, or are we gonna be nice? Okay, looks like we are unhappy with Mr. Lands here. Like, oh, came here for this peace meeting. Now we hate you, though. Bye. Okay, now Ravenous joins up. Can I change her? Okay. Some things I cannot trust others. Well, okay then, Fancy. Friggin' fancy. Literal fancy pants, because she shows up with all those fancy pants and every friggin' thing that she shows up in. She'll gladly take upgrades if you give her them, but moving on. Okay, so now we're at 5. Is there any hope whatsoever of fighting Nibeth at this point? Because, honestly, I don't think so. Maybe worth a grind fight? Probably worth a grind fight. And the lands thing, we're gonna skip through that, because that is one of the longest friggin' cutscenes in the entire thing. It's a good one, don't get me wrong, it's just... yeah. Who's getting left behind? Number 2. Okay, so... no stick romancer. Fine. Oh, by the way, I called them grind fight. Oh yeah, somebody else needs to get left behind. Who else? Number 7. Who's number 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so no Canopus. Fair enough. Those are the ones that end up going out. Now, okay. What was I getting at here? Oh yeah, so despite the fact that they're technically grind fights and all that sort of thing, there's still, as has been mentioned previously, a very high chance of units getting lost here, especially Sarah, who is currently a little bit on the worthless side. So yeah, a very decent chance of losses on that one. What's going on here? Why is this being weird? All things considered, I probably want to go this way first. Get this lady out of the way. The hell is Voltaire again? Just a regular white knight? Fair enough. Go ahead and speed it up just a tiny little bit. Because, you know, Tidemouth isn't the most exciting thing, but it is what it is. There's, typically speaking, why this party is going to be scared of archers for what is presumably going to be a good long while. I'll just storm call 50. Also, you know what? Another quick thing. Let's go ahead and... for the setting. Let's go ahead and turn block transfers back on. I haven't seen any lag coming from this thing today, so we should be fine without glitches. Yeah, I think Taylor's probably our bulkiest guy, and he's still taking a pretty solid beating. Yeah, everybody else is gonna just run in. I'm gonna have Denim and probably the Necromancer take care of that archer on the right. If anybody else can... Yeah, they just want to meet their front line, I think. Seems like we're probably behind a store upgrade, but that's perfectly fine. Now, because of the fact that they have 2 more archers on the left side, ideally I want Denim to have 2 turns of just casting and then do Storm Call, if possible. Or, there we go, he can do it right now. If you're wondering as to why I would do that, essentially it is a reduction in accuracy for all of them, so worth doing. This is one of those new One Vision abilities. So it's going to suddenly start raining. All of those guys are going to have at least a chance. Wow, okay, that actually worked out amazingly. They're going to have a very good chance of having Misstep applied to them, so they will not be very good with those bows. Yeah, it definitely feels like hovering units fly much, much faster now. Voltaire. You hammering this lizard. Okay, that worked out great. Don't worry about it. And just book shoot this one. I need to check if she's got enough points to roll for her actual element again. She's basically going to be worthless and just shooting stuff with a book up until then. You need to go attack this one. And you poking this one. He's far away from his healer. He's going for probably the most evasive unit of the bunch. You have a chance to inflict a bind here, but go ahead and fail that miserably. Alright, we're gonna go for one of these. Who needs healing? Surprisingly, just the one guy. And you can just reach him. Perfect. We lag again. Okay, let's fix the lag again. Dang it. Freaking block transfer effects, I swear. Probably have switched this all over to 1.6.3. Seems to be running a tiny bit better. Nothing else. Yeah, you go after their healer. That guy needs to go before we can make any reasonable progress. So there we go, he's injured. I think there's a possibility for him to be finished off right here. It's just Book Chick has to be able to actually get within range of him. Okay, he can't. She's going to continue book sniping this one. That's fine though. One more lizard and one more Voltaire hit and he should be completely toast. As it should be! As it should. Actually, you know what? I'm going to split this up even farther. We need to finish this guy off. Nope. Oh, never mind then. Plan thrown out the window. What can you do? I might throw plans out the window. That's where they belong anyway. What? What damage? Battlefield damage. Finish him, please. Full. You do want to... What the hell are you? Oh yeah, she's a witch, right. So she should have been just yelling at people this whole time. What the hell am I doing? Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Oh, whoa, what? Holy crap. It's completely random, but I was going to go post Just link this thing again in the Reddit thing, and one of the first things that comes up is like, they might be making another armor core now. I was just talking about that. Alright. Actually, you know what? You go up here. You need to go pokificate these guys. Yeah, Juggernauts with spears. Pretty good. Uplights with spears, also pretty darn good. Thing is, both of them have accuracy that is downright piss poor. Alright, lizards beat on these folks. Anybody shown up yet? 2 peoples! Oh my god. So, like, basically a million in dog years. Hello, Mr. Cow. How's it going? Yeah, go figure. They might very well be making another AC right now. Which would be a very nice thing, because it finally would be a whole, hey, told you friggin' so moment. New in development... Wait. Please tell me this isn't the same friggin' article from last year again. Oh. Oh, okay. They specifically said, their scene is not one of our major 3 titles. I mentioned 3 things moving in our major development line, but Deracine is not one of those. I wanted to let some of the fans know that. Dude, can you just frickin' say Armored Core isn't dead, please, so we can finally have that? Because they keep doing this whole coy thing of, oh, we have another series that we've been working on, you know, we're gonna totally do it. You should get excited about that. And meantime, the community there is just like ripping itself to pieces. It's like, no, you can never have hope. There is no hope. There is no joy. You cannot possibly have hype. Hype must be destroyed. It's bizarre, but you know, it's just kind of how stuff goes now for whatever stupid reason. And yeah, so that just keeps happening over and over and over. And it's like, just stop being coy. Just confirm it already. It's like they had news come out like, oh, we're working on a whole new engine, and we're, you know, friggin' whole new engine, working on an IP. We basically revived everything that isn't AC up to this point. Like, we've done everything short of just like saying its exact name. What are the other 2 big series apart from Souls? Okay, they said that they were working on 3 projects, not necessarily 3 things they've done before. But with the 3 projects, it turned out to be one of them was that Sekiro thing, which looks friggin' amazing. Then they what was it? I don't think Metal Wolf counted because it's technically somebody else that's doing it. They just kind of signed off the rights to that. Then they also had. Okay, they had that VR one, which they also said doesn't count. What am I forgetting at? Are you serious, brain? Are we doing this? We're doing that thing where my brain doesn't work. Dang it, it was the other thing that they released for E3. Sorry. I'm having one of those days where I just felt like I completely did not sleep whatsoever for some reason. So brain does not function at all. As you can probably tell by the fact that I've been going on a weird monotone all day. As you do, as you do. Does brain don't leave us? Yeah, you know what? Friggin' Google. Fix this problem. The E3 from Soft. Fill in my brain. The Shadows Die Twice. Those 1. Deracine they said doesn't count. Yeah, I guess Metal Wolf was the other thing that they were saying that they were reviving. But then, you know, the last thing would either have to be something absurdly obscure, which, again, they basically covered all the stuff that isn't AC, because that Deracine thing looks like it's a spiritual sequel to Beyond. So those were a little bit specific. Oh, son of a baconator, I'm getting that weird chip in my headset again. There we go, that should fix it. And my controller isn't working. Oh, man. We're having fun today. So, so yeah, Deracine, they said doesn't count. That's the one to bring back Beyond. Let's see. Shadow Tower is, in tone, very similar to Shadows Die Twice there, plus it's kind of implied from the name. That's kind of more along the lines of their action... I like to call them action depression. It's just like their action game that's set in a depressing atmosphere. They have, I mean, they had Metal Wolf, which is freaking amazing. And thankfully, somebody else was doing that. And now's the perfect time for my anime fanfic. Alright, well there you go. I mean, I guess that happens. Yeah, personally I feel like a lot of the storytelling kind of fell apart in Last Raven, personally. Just because, okay, I know it's more of a cultural thing, but a lot of the, like, anime-isms never really spoke to me, as it were. Like, okay, the ending of Nexus there, like, specifically the part where they're like, oh, we gotta stay, it's honorable, it's what we do. Like, dude, no. You're here to get paid. You're not here to do anything else but that. There's no reason, honorable or otherwise, to stick around whatsoever. Which, you know, thankfully they actually did put in the ending where you can just straight up bail and that's it. But, hang on. What do we want? Round that fight, that's all done. You. Right, you need to roll an element, before I forget. You need to roll an element, you need to roll a weapon. Elements. Elements. And none does not apply here, so you can't roll that one. Dark. Okay, so you are a Dark Witch. Draw. Did I put Draconic on this one? Hang on. We're actually re-rolling that. Actually, I can't re-roll. Okay, she gets a Draconic too, because that's the other one that I rolled on. For some reason, this didn't update it with the right stuff, because instead of 3 Nun slots, it's supposed to have Draconic, Necro, and Songs. Go, apply wheel changes. Basically, it just all falls into those particular categories. Okay, modify existing wheel, come on, give me the option. I know. Nothing wants to work right today. Weapon-wise, what are you getting? Boomstick, you can't use those. Fists, can you? I don't think the witch can punch. Daggers, cudgels, whips. Oh, okay. So, Kinky Mace, so, oh yeah, she already has whips, so that's fine. Do this. I guess she rolled the same thing twice, how about that? She gets it, she can get Necromancy, so we got Whips, Dark, and Draconic. Okay, learn Dark-wise. Slow, yeah, you can use that one. I'm gonna drop down to the store, go ahead and pick up some extra stuff for her. She can finally be useful. That. Pick up just all the crap. Charm, and I guess we're good here. No Draconic yet, right? Oh, Acrobatics, there we go. You can learn all kinds of goodies. I hope Sarah actually lasts a while. It'd be a little bit of a shame if she doesn't. But yeah, so, like I was saying earlier, they've basically done everything short of confirming AC. Before my enemies have combined forces become fused. What? Yeah, exactly. You gotta keep farting out new enemies over and over. Otherwise it doesn't count, you know? Gotta have those new enemies and everybody's gotta talk about their morals all the time. Because, you know, when people are having a fight, morals are definitely the thing that they stop to talk about. Oh, and we get another fight. So, as I mentioned earlier, fights can't be skipped. Oh, whoops. Just canceled out of one of the wheels here, and I think that was my 1 to 10 wheel. Is it? Alright, so which two are not making it? Looks like number 6, and who else? Oh, friggin' slow. And number 1. Okay, so no Denim and no second lizard guy. Wait, are you? Yes, I'm Canopus. Yes, I'm you. Oh wait, no Denim, right. Right the hell along. Unfortunately means no Storm Call, which unfortunately means accurate archers, which sucks. But okay, so good example, right? Take Last Raven as a pretty solid example as far as stuff going completely wrong there. Like, it's good. They tried a whole bunch of cool stuff. I would argue that it kind of completely fell on its face, though, because if you really think about it for more than a second, a lot of the stuff in it doesn't actually make sense. Like, so many of them are kind of a contrivance at the very end of, like, why is everybody fighting each other? And in many cases, they just wrote it off as, oh, you know, it's some honor thing. Everyone's gotta go and live up to their honorable name and whatever else. Like, honestly, in a lot of cases, they could have just, you know, said people were essentially just fighting only for the bounties and all that sort of thing, and or just revenge's sake and all that. Like, it always seemed a little strange to me how they set up this whole plot line with Zenaida there. I'm like, oh, you know, she's pissed at you the entire time. She wants to get revenge for this one thing that went south and ruined her reputation. Okay, that's understandable, you know. She's off on her little revenge journey. You picked the wrong person to mess around with. You screwed up a bunch of stuff for them. Makes sense. Fair enough. And then at the very last second, they're like, no, we gotta fight because I gotta find out who's better at the fighting. But why? Why would you use that as your reason? That's never been your reason up to this point. Not to mention you're kind of showing up to the thing all beat up already, so maybe not the best time to go about that sort of thing. Just something for consideration. Maybe come back and ambush them another day, because you get nothing for, you know, pretending that anything honorable is going on in that situation. It's like, I think just a lot of it's a holdover from older, a lot of that, well, the same thing every culture has, where like, oh, the people from the past were somehow more honorable in this way or another, and in reality, people were just always people. Honestly, every culture had that same thing of, you know, X, Y, or Z was more honorable than whatever's around now. Everything's so good back in the olden days. Like, it's especially kind of funny to me, like when it comes up for a lot of Japanese stuff and whatever else, because there's basically two camps that end up happening there, where one of them's basically talking about like all the ye olden stuff is like everything was perfect, and then there's the ones that actually go for the historical end that have been coming up much more often now. Like, yeah, stuff there was about as jacked up as everywhere else, so there's that. What's this? Holy crap, Mr. Cow, what kind of story are you writing here? Ah, man, this is the time for Vin to show up, and then you guys just need to, like, bounce ideas off each other for the craziest story ever written. It's an empty field. Yeah, there's always a convenient empty field. How about that? Like, oh, this giant empty space that would never possibly exist, but what do you know, it's right over there. There's this old... I don't know if you've ever seen it. There was this old DBZ thing, this old, like, parody of it from way back in the day, like, I think on Albino Black Sheep or something. It was exactly that. Oh, we gotta fight, there's this place that would never exist in reality. This place we'll never be able to find on time. We can't possibly save this. Oh wait, it's right over there. That was just it. Alright, so he's gonna go ahead and shank this guy, despite the fact there's literally no reason for her to even have that knife. Okay, well... Alright, you are gonna go ahead and use one of these, and I swear at some point we'll actually make some progress. Bound to happen, dang it. Actually, I might have to go take a break to go make more coffee. That was cold and disgusting and just downright unpleasant. Why am I drinking cold coffee? It tastes like dirt. This wouldn't be the first time. It's one of those mysteries of coffee, you know? It's like pretty much any other form. It's delicious and satisfying and everything else, and then as soon as it's cold, it's like, no matter what, it turns bitter and gives you a headache instead of actually feeling like a good and tasty drink. Can't help but notice that the party's actually kind of getting their rears pushed in right now. Actually, you know what's funny? Come to think of it, I did remember one franchise that they never revived, and it would be such a middle finger right now if they did. Like, have you ever heard of 3D Dot Game? 3D Dot Game Heroes. Apparently 3D Dot Game was the thing that they were intending to call the series or something like that. But it was this old, like, parody of old Zelda games and stuff like that. And it was meant to be absolutely ridiculous, like to the point where your sword took up half the frickin' screen. And then as you went on, you went and put all kinds of upgrades and crap on it, and then it just got more and more ridiculous. Like, to the point where, like, the last time that I went to it, let's see, it had a claymore that literally just took up 3/4 of the screen whenever it was swung. Like, you didn't even swing it so much as your character just, like, held their hand out, and then you pivoted them around side to side to actually swing the thing. They could clear an entire room with one swing. And it's just like this giant JPEG of a sword just shows up, just spins around the entire room. It's so good. Oh no, they're going after the Stickromancer. Okay, first off, we're at a stalemate. This guy's gotta go. Barney's actually Grimlock. You know what? Mr. Cow, have you ever heard of, the what's it, the Star Bomb, Transformer song? Like, if you haven't, I have to send you a link to that. Because it's exactly that. So yeah, what was the line specifically? Like, Grimlock's rake and I'm a worm milkshake. There's a small chance that I made a very tiny mistake. Good stuff. Okay, you need to drain. Drain. Okay, yeah, go for him. His odds of survival are very, very low, but this might make him survive one more round. Come on. Why are we talking about a hacking hamster now? What the hell happened there? Oh wait, no, there we go. It was exactly 2 health too low to actually survive that. Wonderful. Getting ridiculous. Come on. Come on, absolutely garbage party, you can pull this off. The Stickromancer is down. I'm screwing some stuff up. There's a very small possibility of being able to finish off this guy, maybe. Voltaire gets his turn. Yeah, okay, Voltaire's gonna get his turn right before this, but now, because of the weather, his accuracy is gonna be jacked up. So if he misses it, then we're right back to being in a stalemate. If not, then this side is basically clear. There we go, he actually managed to hit 90%. Oh, and there goes Canopus. Wait, what? Interesting. That's the button. Okay, so... Wait a friggin' second. Hang on. Triangle, that's the button that's inexplicably coming up randomly. Mapping... I'm confused. B1, what's B1 then? Let's see if canceling this fixes it. I don't recognize that input whatsoever. Yeah, regular triangle still seems to work. But there's a possibility that hopefully it won't randomly trigger the triangle now. Yeah, that's been a little bit of an annoying thing. Are you sure you're sane over there, man? Ah, that seems a little bit on the crazier side. Okay, you know what? Here it is. Alright, so putting the link in now, as far as that song I was talking about. It sounds exactly what you were talking about. There you go. Probably should have checked this earlier, but sound's working out okay, right? At least halfway decent. Probably gonna have... Alright, let's have you go ahead and evac Mr. Stickromancer. No, you know what? There's still a chance. There's still a chance that these guys can pull this together and possibly not have to evac him. So that's what I prefer. What in God's name are you talking about, Cow? Right. There we go. You should be able to finish this guy off. You should give just enough time to finish the others off. And next should be the healer. They're all kind of surrounding the healer at this point. Take the casters, only 2 attempts to get rid of the archer. The fencer is a bit of a problem, though. Malediction is another thing I need here. Necromancer is almost down. Okay, no, we gotta evac him now. There's no opportunities left for that anymore. Actually, we might have to just let him take the injury. Yeah, no, that needed to hit, because then I would have been able to use the upper Necromancer to go evac him. Okay, actually no, you can't do anything better, so go ahead and get Mr. Stickeromancer out of here. Get out of here, Norman. Save yourself. Okay then. We have a story about the Dragon Ball hamster, apparently, being the story of the day here. You know, regular everyday stuff. Okay, perfect. Got a crit with a book, because that's a thing that happens. Yes. Then hit her. Oh, dang it. We're having one of those situations, aren't we? When can Canopus be evac'd? Question. Get Canopus out of here. I'd really prefer for Sarah not to get knocked out here. Come on now. Surely you guys can pull off something. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for finally blocking. He's figured out how his shield works. You continue just getting everyone out of here, I guess. Since we're apparently just going to be having these 3 fight to the bitter frickin' end over here. Good. Done. Voltaire goes and gets the fairy out of here. And that's basically all of our early gems being burned up. Gonna end up taking a bunch of injuries coming soon. As you do. As you do. Oh, and I don't even have any healing items. Good to remember for the future. Oh, come on now! Frickin' lady needs to stop running away. Thing is, by the time I end up getting her surrounded, she's probably gonna take the lizard out too. Yep, there she goes. That's gonna be this run in a nutshell, isn't it? Like, gonna keep running into situations where one guy can completely, or girl in this case, can completely dominate us without any questions. Although, that being said, Denim isn't in this party, so if these guys end up getting killed off, then it's essentially just going to be a situation where, you know, that's just it for these guys. We just get a whole new set of units. So, for real, I'm not really sure what to do about this. I guess our best bet is just kind of sitting and hoping Voltaire gets a kill move or something. Yeah, okay, that's, admittedly, the wording of that could have been a little bit better. Yes, there's a girl dominating you without issues, I suppose. I mean, hey, whatever you're into, you know? Whatever floats your goats. though this is getting a little bit ridiculous. So normally in the situation, well, normally you wouldn't run into this situation. So to explain all the different factors in play here. So obviously, you know, monks get a little bit of a buff. That's an obvious one. The thing is here, we're very early on. This is like once you get past 5, honestly, you can pull a lot more shenanigans. But up to level 5, if you're, like for example, you're using base stuff like these guys are, and essentially you put yourself in a position where you're fighting somebody that has better things, like for example, these guys right here. It's not a big difference. Like, in a straight fight, it won't really make a big difference, but the fact that they're essentially on 50 scaling up a little bit higher than that, meaning that they can out-heal it. But again, normally you would, for example, have a couple fighters, maybe some knights or whatever else in this situation. You wouldn't really ever be here with a frickin' necromancer and white knight, because both of those classes are pretty much available from chapters 3 and 4 respectively. There's no possible reason to ever have this particular matchup. And so this guy, he's basically using a weaker variant of an axe here. He should have upgraded to a better one by this point, and he's not terribly good with it. So, despite the fact that he can be potentially very good in this situation, he's essentially not able to keep up with her kind of healing. So, you know, it's just kind of a stalemate. And let's see, we've got 41. I'm gonna think about what happens if I just set you to melee, set you to ranged, and yeah, just have you guys automate this. Just friggin' do it automatically. Why not? Kinda screwed this up. Actually, while they're going and repeatedly beating the hell out of this lady in a very unfortunate manner, I'm gonna go get myself some more coffee, so be right back. Should have taken the North Tower. Well, I'm sorry, we didn't have enough hamsters to pull that off. It simply wasn't going to happen, Mr. Cow. Just wasn't going to happen. Hang on, sorry, I'm trying to use like a friggin'... even is this thing? Like a reptile cage clip to hold the controller down. Alright, what if I just... kinda... that'll work. This thing? Oh, hell. Don't take that thing, understood. Take this sort of thing, lay it against here. Kind of angle it like such. Ah, screw it, whatever, be right back. Hello! Okay, so, is this endless stalemate from hell still going? Sure is. See. That book toss ruptured something? Yep. So yeah, since, so the deal with the books, it's supposed to be like a telekinetic book attack kind of thing. That ends up making them weaker to magic and stuff like that. And, yeah, so we've got a necromancer that can't necromance, and/or can't mage at all, and then we've got a knight that currently has had little to no training. He's basically endlessly sparring with a monk forever. So I like to think they're just gonna come back to camp like, okay, we saw the other guys who made it, we thought you two died. Like, no. There was a super monk just hanging out in the middle of a field, and the two of us just went, we fought her at a friggin' stalemate for like 3 weeks straight. They're just there, just like going and deflecting hits all over the place. There's just like nothing left of the axe, just like a handle with a friggin' ring on it because the blade's just gone. Her staff is just somehow magically regenerating itself, and by the end of it, she's just like swinging a full-grown tree around. The lady with the book is just like crumpling up pages and throwing them. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do. Just throw pages, I guess. Ah, Christ. This is a really hot coffee, actually. Ow. Oh, they got a skill rank up. Okay, so that means Book Chick has a chance to hopefully do something here. Question is, will they do it? And for that matter, how the hell did Voltaire end up getting his friggin' build before this? Oh, there we go, Annihilate. They're gonna get a curse on them. Okay, so they lowered their health and MP. For a very piddly amount of damage, though. Really what they need is for Voltaire to get his kill move. Once he ranks up, which, come on, that better be happening pretty soon here. Once Voltaire ranks up, that'll be it. So yeah, it's not going to be a stamina forever. The very first thing, yeah, the very first thing Voltaire can learn is a move that'll slow. He's going to keep going until Voltaire learns Driving Cut. Exactly. We're almost there. He's at 91%. She's kind of trapped in here, so once he's able to slow her, then that'll be the end of that. That's, you know, that's always the fun of different randomizers, though. Just the stupid BS you run into. like, this is a situation that would never come up. A bunch of crits in a row. I mean, kinda. That's basically what just happened here. They got like 3 crits in a row, but... Like, as you can see, a Book Chick over here managed to actually... She gets 8 more damage per hit now. So it's just... They're just slightly chipping her away, but... That's actually, come to think that that's another thing. You know what could potentially happen here? Book Chick could potentially get wiped out. That was your cudgels. Oh, okay, never mind. So, just blocking, she's not getting very much experience. Basically, if you get hit with a particular thing, you still end up ranking up a tiny bit just because of the fact that you end up blocking with it. Like, let's see what that did right there. So yeah, they got like 0.5% for blocking. It's nothing too fantastic, but it's there. Lord Voltaire. Disappointing, doesn't begin to say it, buddy. I don't know why you're so bad. There we go. So he got Driving Cut, so that should be the end of the endless stalemate. So if I counted this correctly, they literally have been at this for like a week and a half. Like in-game time. It's been like friggin' 10 days in a row now. So they've been going, and the sun's been going up and going down and going up and going down, and they're still fighting. Nope, that is just a rando friggin' book, because all of them are telekinetic in this one. Since, you know, base game, they were basically nothing. They were just a thing that made the person using it slightly more racist, as weird as that sounds. But their main bonus was just like, oh, you're better at not liking lizards, congratulations, and it was like something that never really mattered very much. So, because Book Chick decided to run in the completely opposite direction for absolutely no reason, now there's a chance that she can still recover out of this. Okay, so recover faded. She heals. Can he reach her? Yes. Can she reach him? Okay, slow is gone. They need one crit to pull. Oh, there we go. Perfect. They did it! Finally! Now they're gonna be on AI, but whatever. Ooh, and we got a Volge. We got a Volge. I don't hear about folks celebrating their Volge. Okay. So, that was interesting. First things first, you need to roll for a frickin' ability. Do you get anything? Dark. Perfect. Oh yeah, I forgot to check if the actual wheel is going to bother showing up this time. But I'm assuming... no. Answer's always friggin' no on that one. Animate dead. You know what, actually... yeah, you're not going to be able to make zombies for a while, never mind. Counter hit, though, that could be useful. I mean, it's not going to be amazing, but it's something. A skill. Consecrate Edge. That could be useful. Oh! You can get Recruit, though. I think you're the only one that can get Recruit. Alright, I want Consecrate Edge, but Recruit is a completely different story, and he's the only one that can get it at this point. Okay, I'll do that. Now you're maybe wondering why the hell would that be worth it? So, well, obviously we can, you know, just get new folks at any point during the course of this run, but in the middle of fights, if something goes completely south, that's probably going to be the best way to actually accomplish anything. Like that. By the way, interesting thing that not a lot of people noticed their first time through. But you know how your main characters had that whole plan of, oh, we're gonna go fight those guys, it's gonna be such a good idea, we'll be all heroic and crap. So they basically have a news story right after that, like, oh yeah, somebody else actually tried. They tried the exact same thing, and it went great for them. That's why they're not around anymore. But what? One of the Ogres can be poached for the game's strongest bug, probably the same one. Did not know that, but we're actually doing a community run of FFT, so that'd be interesting to see. We'll do that in case it opens up anything, and moving on. Alright, so Bordeaux is next. Probably the first chance for Recruit to be useful. The only downside is, if somebody gets recruited, then they still get added to the random pool of units. Although that being said, that might potentially still open up some options, because right now they are very limited. Okay, so 9 is excluded. Who else? Well, apparently 9 is double excluded, although, is there even an exclusion in this one? Nope. There actually isn't. I can just put all of them in. Hello, Alarm. I still don't know why I even have you set. Alright, do this thing. So, actually Voltaire... actually no, you're fine. You go there. Here, you go here. Let's have you here and swap you here. That should do it. By the way, I know I asked this like 4 separate times now, but yes, they're here. It's such numbers. By the way, this guy's back to looking like a knight now. It was changed to looking like a Terror Knight for a while, but it was mostly an experimental phase. Which, by the way, apparently the next update is a fair while off because of the bizarre way that they stored battle data on this one. Actually, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but it kind of lended credence to the whole theory that just Matsuno shows up and just friggin' snorts 1 billion pounds of cocaine and just kind of, just kind of shoots out ideas, and they try their best before he wakes up. But yeah, apparently the first few chapters or so, everything's pretty well organized, like, you know, got 100 fights for law and chaos and stuff like that. By the way, this is all info from when Rakes was combing through the data files of the game. So, like, the first few are apparently pretty well organized, and then after that, it's just like, it just starts being a complete mishmash of different stuff from different routes and different situations. Like, the thing basically adjusts based on who's made it up to that point, what route you're on, what specific leveling gates you've reached, that sort of thing. There's a pretty wide potential variety of encounters available. You can also catch him with that special ninja that throws everything at you, just don't use your... Oh. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of weirdness to FFT. I think that's why so many people remember it so fondly. There's just so much that's exploitable. It's actually funny because in a lot of cases you have to try and avoid winning rather than actually win. Like recently, I was feeling kind of regretful during that community run because I was doing that one fight right at the start of Chapter 2, where you have the like Ifgarian and Agrius with you, and I completely forgot to take their stuff off. Like, was over there trying to collect all the different stuff for the next guy to make sure that they're all prepared and everything. So you have this paranoia now that the run's just gonna randomly end out of nowhere because, you know, we just wound up getting soft-locked because we just wound up over-leveled in a completely wrong situation or something. Like showing up to friggin' Goldrand with, like, one guy or something. But yeah, no. It was this thing where, despite attempting that, despite thinking that the idea would work, just consisted of pretty much just chasing around Ifgarian throughout the entire map, just having the entire party punch him in the back of the head, and it didn't matter, he cleared out the entire map with no issues. Kind of ridiculous, you know, maybe a little bit of imbalance there, just a little tiny little bit there. So there's that. I think that I bought the abilities for her and didn't train her, did I? Yep. Well, that's life for you, I suppose. Life and my incompetence. I think I saw a knight in a random fight with a unique face once, maybe in the special desert fight. It's possible. I mean, that's everything Matsuno does in a nutshell. Is like, let's pick some bizarrely specific thing in the middle of nowhere that you'll never find. Like, okay, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but in this one, he added a few classes that you can only get under the most bizarrely specific circumstances ever. Like, for example, one of them. Haven't gotten that character yet, but there's one character that you get that comes in with the Knight Commander class, which is, in base game, it's just like a mishmash of all kinds of different classes kind of thing. But if you change her out of that class, you can't change her back to her class. The only way that you can get more of her thing is either from certain story fights once you're going through in like New Game Plus and that kind of thing, or to force it to rain, go to a specific map, and then you have a chance for some zombified units that used to belong to her, apparently. So you have to wait, just like go and repeatedly keep doing fights, hoping that it's raining, and then you make them spawn in, and then you can't... There's a small chance that they'll drop it if you fight them, but then you can have like a thief go in and repeatedly rob them until they just pick up some of her uniforms. Because that's something somebody would try, you know, that kind of thing. Or yeah, the Dark Priest, or the Heretic. Which is one where you basically have only one character that can use it in the entire game, and there's really no indication that the class should even exist. They just expect you to go back and fight a particular healer on a particular map in a... well, I guess at least luckily it's not a particular route, but there's a very small chance that one particular guy can drop it. Again, no indicator of that, and she just sort of shows up in that uniform once during the story. And you're just kind of left to assume, like, okay, that was just her costume when she was going and being a horrible traitor. Like, no. You can actually be that class, and it's probably her best one, but, I'm gonna tell you how to get it. Like, it just seems petty, you know? It's like, why is it there? Can you make it, I don't know, a little bit easier to find, possibly? Oh! Actually, no, even better. The class that she starts as, you don't get any additional marks for it. So in this one, you need class marks, which are basically like licenses, more or less, for them to change classes. So there's one particular one where it's the one that she starts with. You have to go to a forest. You have to go all the way to the back of that forest, and then you have to rob another random healer guy. in order to be able to get the class that she started as. You get her in a completely different class, so... yeah, if you want her to go back to that thing, which is objectively worse, you have that option, I guess. Or no, you know what it is? The only reason that you would want that class is for one particular ability that can carry over to one of her other classes, as in the one that she starts with, not the one that that you can also go through a bunch of effort to get, which is a thing that basically allows you to go and get rid of zombies as an active move instead of using your turn on it. Which, again, seems like a whole lot of effort to go through when you can just go to the store and buy an item that does the same thing. But okay. Beowulf and Weegraf have the same outfit? Wait, they come from the same mythology? What? What do you mean? What did I miss there? Also, I forgot to give this guy a better spear. Actually, no, he was one-handed spears and lobbers, right. But no, I didn't. Yeah, I'm just trying to think here. I don't remember Weegraf being in Beowulf. Can't get to the leader. By the way, I'm probably calling it after this this fight. It's gone a little bit longer than I would have expected, mostly because of that endless stalemate. I'm getting knocked out more than likely, so I'm gonna go over here, fully recover. Good. On. The mosquito run up and heal. Okay, Weegraf was mistranslated from Wiglaf. Beowulf second in command. Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't... yeah, come to think of it, I didn't remember that that guy actually had a name. That's good to know. 0% recruit. My plan here is to try and recruit at least one bird person, if it's at all possible. I know that's weirdly specific, but there's a reason for it. Taylor... deal with that. This lady's gotta go. And or get recruited. Getting a little bit problematic, actually. Yeah, Greon's kind of a boss character. Oh, crap. Okay, that is a pretty major problem, because if he bleeds out, that's the end of the run. In that case, everyone just needs to pile on Greon right now. If I can get Axe Guy to do some damage to him, that would definitely help. Strengthen, definitely. Use on you. Or actually, no, use... Strengthen's gonna go on those two back there. Masters. Alright. He goes... oh, please breach. That's gonna do 9. Okay, this is potentially doable. Actually, no. How much is drain on you? 35? Do that. Tactics Weegraf's first outfit is like Beowulf's, yeah. Calculator level 3, yeah. Calculators were so broken. Wonderful. Okay, I was hoping for either a breach or potentially a rupture. It made him weaker to a lot of stuff. Poison? Christ, this guy's just blocking everything. Yeah, this is a problem because, yeah, as I mentioned, if Denim passes out, that's the end. Okay. Got a lot of casters, he's kind of sort of weak to them. Look at that fighter that's all up in our business is going to be done here. The others I'm not terribly worried about, but that poison proc really needs to hit already. Oh, might be able to recruit her too. Yes. Okay. Over here. Actually, now hopefully that poison proc doesn't hit. Actually, no, his defense against this is lower too. Okay, so go ahead and maybe heal her up a little bit. You can join in on the fun. Actually, no you can't. Right, your distractions. Dang, come on now. Frickin' Super Beast. Oh, and there we go. Of course. There's no Boko in this one. We cannot get help. Are you serious right now? We're doing this again? Oh, Christ. This is just like last time. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I can invade everything now. 50%, 60%? What's that? I think you mean friggin' 100% all the time. Yeah, I know it's unlikely, but dang. She can use Annihilate, though. That'll do something. Device, please. Can I consider helping? At least try to be helpful. A little bit. Actually, it would probably be the first time I've ever lost a run here. Actually, no, it'd be the second time. Okay, last round. Oh, you dick! Are you serious right now? No. No. No bueno. Like, yeah, check it out. I ate these grapes, and now I'm invincible. 7:30. Getting our friggin' everything kicked in here from every possible angle because Canopus can't hit anything. Why is his accuracy so garbage right now? Like, it's weird, in every other run he's very, very good, but for some reason his accuracy is not holding up whatsoever. Yeah, don't worry, use it on him, you're within range of Brian, but no, that's the target for sure. I think he only gets one of those, maybe. Actually, no, that's it. Run's dead. Yeah, you just left your friend to die, a-hole. Yep. That's the end of the run, because the guy had magic grapes. Okay, well, I guess next time we will be restarting this. So that's, you know... Actually, I'm probably just going to load it from the last one and then just replace everybody that we've gotten so far and re-roll Denim stuff. So we'll go from that point. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, and we'll get this going another time. Yeah. Exactly, and it would have been a win, too, if Canopus could hit literally any one of his 55%. It was like, what, 7 in a row that he missed, because he can never hit anything for some reason? But it's fine, it's fine. There will be potentially some cool new stuff happening with the next one. Maybe we'll get, like, a bunch of friggin' pirates or something. Maybe. It's possible. But yeah, alright, anyway, I gotta get going, so see you then. Take care.